Good afternoon. Today we are going to learn with the particular programming concept, that is OOPS programming using C++. Okay. So what is C++? It's one of the programming language. It's not covering here. Okay. We will read it, right? Okay. So it is C++ programming that is been developed by Bazarney-Stroustrup in the year that comes into the existence in the year of 1986. So he explained it is a general purpose programming language. General purpose programming language. What is the difference between C and C++ when it comes to the languages? We need to understand that. The C is a programming is a procedure oriented, whereas C++ is a object oriented programming. This is completely focused on the procedure, whereas C++ focus on the object. So let's understand what is the concept of object and what is procedure. The object is anything which is in the real world entity. Anything in real world entity. That's an object. Then what is procedure? Why it is required with? The procedure oriented is, let's understand it better. Take an example of growth of the tree. Initially, say assume that the size of the tree, height of the tree is 1 centimeter when it comes to the first when you are going to plant it. As it focus on the procedure, first year assume that it is of 1 centimeter, then apply the procedure over here by applying the algorithm telling that every year tree will grow 1 centimeter per year 1 centimeter. So the procedure says there after 10 years the height of the tree will be after 20 years, that is 20 centimeter. What if it is after 200 years? Then that is 200 centimeter. In real world this is not possible. So this is called as a procedure oriented programming. So we have to focus rather than the procedure. They came into thought that no, we have to apply with the object oriented concepts where we can work on the real world entity. The real world is like example entity student. Here we called it as a discourse knowledge. Example, cat eat rat. Cat eat rat and rat eat cat. Here as the real world we have to find the discourse knowledge about it. Is it the fine? It has a subject, it has a verb and it has an object where we know that cat is going to eat the rat, but the reverse order is not there into the real world existence. Like I don't have the hot ice cream, that is not present in the discourse knowledge. So they started of thinking of that rather than following the procedures, let's work on the object. So let's go with the concept. It is being introduced by Bazarney-Stroustrup in the year 1986. So let's go with what are the OOPS concept. OOPS concepts one by one. First concept itself is object. As it talks about the thing, it talks about the object. But how we are going to define the object? Object is anything which is the existence into the real world. That's called as an object. Okay. Next comes as it's also called as an instance of the class. It's also called instance of the class. Let us learn that what is that instance of the class. For example, the student, it may be chair, it may be flower. Okay, they are exist into the real world entity, hence they are called as an object. Next comes with the class. What is class? How we are going to define it as a class? Okay, how we are going to define it as a class? Class is anything which is homogeneous in nature, okay, which possesses with the same characteristics, that's called as a class. Say example here, class, take the class as flower. The name of the class is flower. Then what are the property the flower, what are the different flowers we have? Say jasmine, rose, okay, and etc. We call these are a flower, so that comes under the single class. Similarly, if I say fruit, then the banana is a fruit, orange is a fruit. So why they are classified under a single class? Because they possesses with the same characteristics. That is the second property. The first object oriented concept is the object, second is a class. Let's see with the new things. Third one is data abstraction. Data abstraction. Is it okay? Okay. Data abstraction. Here the data abstraction also we called it as ADT. Abstract data type or data abstraction. It means showing some part of the thing, showing some useful things to the user and hiding some implementation. Okay, so this is called as a data abstraction. Let's understand this better with an example of telecom industry. Let's take with this telecom industry. Okay, example, consider I have the BSNL networking, BSNL. Now I want to connect with the one more person with a Vodafone. Okay, so what the basic requirement the developer should know, or what the basic requirement the user should know? They should need to exchange the phone numbers, that's it. So phone numbers are exchanged and then that is the showing something for the user to connect. But what is hiding here? The implementation part. Implementation is where the server, where the satellite is being launched, from how it is being connected, where is the internet service provider we have. So all these things and the protocols being used here, the amount, everything is being hidden. That concept we call it as a data abstraction, that is ADT. It means showing the necessity things and hiding the unwanted things. It tells that what to do, but it never tells how to implement. It tells what to do, but it never tells how to implement. So I hope you are following me. So that's the third concept of OOPS is data abstraction. This is also called as ADT. It talks about that showing the user for a something which is useful, and this is achieved in C++ by using the access specifiers. How we are going to do that in C++? Using access specifiers, or these are called as visibility modes. Visibility modes. How many visibility modes are there in C++? There are three. One is public, second is protected, and third one is a private one. So let's understand by taking one more example how the visibility will happen here. Assume that you have an account in your bank. Assume that you have the account in your bank. So your name is public, it is known to everyone. The name is public, it is known to everyone, hence that is accessible by everyone. Whereas your account number is protected. Account number is known to you and your family members or your friend circle. But whereas the password is protected, it is known to you only. Hence these visibility modes are access specifier through which in C++ we can achieve the data abstraction. So this is the third bit of OOPS. Next let's understand with the data encapsulation, fourth bit, fourth concept which comes with the OOPS, that is data encapsulation. What is encapsulation here? The thing definition itself is talking about wrapping up something. So what's the wrapping up here? So that wrapping up, when the class comes, if you are talking about a class here the student, where you are going to define the visibility mode where this comes with the data members, you are going to give the data members, and again the visibility mode, it may be public, private or protected. Here you have the member functions. Member functions. We are going to write within the single class. So this is being written within the single class. So this data encapsulation comprises of or encapsulation of data members and member functions. This is called a encapsulation. So this concept where you have the different data members. So let's take the example of a student here, where the data members comes here for, where it comes for the student. Student is a class now, where it comes with any nature. These are comes as a data members and this comes with the member function. So assume that what are the attributes here the student consists of. If you go for a DBMS, then this is a entity where it has the attributes, that is student register number, student name, student address, phone number or a contact details. Okay, so it goes on etc. and age and all. So this considers the attributes are considering here as attributes we called as data members. And performing the operations on that, like now say the name is what? It's a string. What is that? String name. Now address is again string. Contact number is integer. It goes on. Similarly, now when it comes to the member functions, so performing the operations, like again the visibility mode, you are reading the data, you are displaying the data. So the operations which we perform on these attributes is called as a member function. So here to conclude this, the method, that is data encapsulation, is nothing but wrapping up of data member and member functions togetherly placed under the unique name that is called the class. So this is the fourth concept of OOPS. I hope it's clear. So next concept, the fifth concept will come as inheritance. As the dictionary meaning of inheritance is acquiring something from the ancestors and it goes on. So the inheritance, you are getting something. Here inheritance means we are going to say, assume that there is a class A and now you are going to acquire the properties from class A and you are going to create the class B. Here how the inheritance is happening here is creating a new class. Simple definition of this is you are going to creating a new class. This is called, there are different callings for this is, it may called as a new class, it may called as a derived class, this may called as a subclass, it may called as a child class. So what we are doing here? We are creating a new class, derived class, subclass or child class, creating a new class. How? By acquiring the properties. What we do? By acquiring the properties from base class. What we will do? This is called, this class is called, it may be base, it may be new, it may be super, it may be old. This is new here. Okay, base class, super class, old class and the parent class. Parent class. So here creating a new class by acquiring the properties from the base class and retaining its properties. This is very much important. Retaining its properties. This is called as a inheritance. What is inheritance? Once again, I will go with it. We are going to create a new class. How? By acquiring the properties from the old class. Here old class is calling as a parent, base, super or old, whereas new class is called a new derived sub or a child class. How it will do? We create, but we are acquiring some of the properties. It means I want to take an example here. If I smile, few people may tell that I am smiling like my father. If I walk, they will tell that I am talking like my sister. But when comes with the thing here, the presence, but it doesn't mean I am acquiring all the properties from the base class. I also have my own properties, like I have my own way of thinking, I have my own skin color, I have my own tone. So here this means, of course I am creating a new class by acquiring the property from old class, but it also retaining its own property. So this concept is called inheritance. Here there are 5 types of inheritance. There are 5 types of inheritance. Okay. There are 5 types of Okay, types of inheritance. When it comes with the acquiring and creating, we have the 5 types. First one is single inheritance. Let's understand one by one. What is single inheritance? Here there is only one base class, and there is only one child class. How many base and how many child? Only one base class and only one child class. Creating a single child class by acquiring the properties from a single base class is called single inheritance. Next comes with the multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance, that is, here there is base 1, next it is base R, we can say it's called derived 1, and next it is derived 2. So let's define this, the multi-level inheritance. Creating a new class, this is a new class, creating a new class by acquiring the properties from already derived class. This is what? Already derived class. You are creating a new class by acquiring the properties of already derived class, that's called as multi-level, more than one level, that's called as a multi-level inheritance. So I hope you are clear with the second type, single inheritance, where you are creating only and only one single class by creating or acquiring the properties from its only and only one base class. Whereas multi-level, here we are creating a new class by acquiring the properties from already derived class. Say the third is multiple. This is not existed in the real world, hence this changed into the Java programming as an interface. Here the thing is happening as there are more than one child class, there are more than one parent class. In multiple inheritance, the thing is base 1, base 2 and so on, base n, and there is a single child. Is it possible into the real world? No, this thing is not possible into the real world. Hence in Java, this is being implemented as interface rather than the inheritance. Okay, ನಮ್ಮ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಬಡ್ದೈತ ಅಂತ. So that is, parent is only one, that is father and mother, that leads to the single child, but it's not possible to take a genes from more than one. That is how we are going to define this multiple inheritance. The multiple inheritance is creating a single child by acquiring the properties from more than one base classes. That is called as a multiple inheritance. So next type of inheritance is, for fourth type of inheritance when it comes with as hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical. This is the reverse of multiple inheritance, where as just I will give you the description so that you can understand here. Say it's a tree, you have the multiple stems over here. So what is happening here? Single root but multiple stems. So same thing here with a hierarchical. That means you have one parent as a base, but it contains n number of children, that is child 1 to child n. This is called as a hierarchical. Hierarchical inheritance is creating more than one child class, by acquiring the properties from single base class. How many base classes are here? It's only single base class, but the childs are creating a multiple child classes. So the hierarchical is reverse of multiple inheritance. I repeat this once again. Creating more than one child classes by acquiring the properties from single base class. So it's called as a hierarchical. So last kind of the thing is the hybrid inheritance. So what is hybrid inheritance? Just I will draw one diagram, that is opt one, so that you can understand it better. Hybrid inheritance. So this is your parent class. Now what kind of this thing is? Multiple, the base 1 and this is base 2. Now this is with, again comes with the multi-level, then this is child 1. If I go here, okay. So consider here, this is an hybrid inheritance. How it represents here now? How you are going to define this? Hybrid inheritance is combination of, how to define this, that is the combination of single, I will describe this, multi-level, multiple, hierarchical inheritance, okay, is called as a hybrid. Let us see that. Now the parent is here. Now if I just hide this, the base 2 and child, this will act as a single inheritance. Parent 1, base 1 is created, base 1, the new class base 1 is created by acquiring the properties from parent 1. So this is an inheritance which is single. Now if I leave this only base 2, then it is multi-level. From parent base 1 is created, from base 1 child is created. So it is a, I hope you are following, that's a multi-level, creating a child class by already derived class. Here there are two derived classes, base 1 and base 2. So the child is created from either the base 1 or base 2. So this is multi-level inheritance. If I remove the parent itself, so this is multiple. Base 1 and base 2, there are more than one parents and one single child. So single is there, multi-level is there, multiple and hierarchical. If I remove this, then this is an hierarchical. So togetherly this is called as a hybrid inheritance. So these are the 5 types of inheritance we have. So this is the 5th point. Next OOPS concept comes as polymorphism. Next concept is polymorphism. Let us see. This is a Greek word. What this is? It's a Greek word. It's split into 2 terms. One is a poly, second is a morph. So what this means is, poly means many, morph means form. So how to define this? This is again one of the concept. It tells that the polymorphism means single function can take more than one form. Single function can take more than one form. Single function having same name can perform more than one task one task depends upon, it's very much important, depends upon the type and number of arguments passed to it. Let us understand this very clearly. What is meant by this here? Polymorphism. Polymorphism is again one of those concepts. It is derived from the Greek word where poly means many, morph means form. Here the single function having the same name can perform more than one task, depend upon what? The type and the number of arguments being passed to it. That is called as a polymorphism. So let us take with a simple example to understand this. Assume that, please tell me one of your name. So consider the student name here is, student name here is say Anil. Anil is the student name. Consider this as a function now. For this Anil, I am passing the RCUB as an argument. So what he will perform? He will act as a student. Now the name is Anil only, a single function having the same name Anil, but here I have passed as a RCUB, then he perform his task as student. If I pass for a Anil, I will pass mother. The argument is changed. So how he is working now? He is acting as a son. If you go again for a Anil and if you are passing here as the sister and brother, here he will act as a brother. So what happening here? This is called as a polymorphism. That is a single function having the same name. The function name is Anil, function name is Anil, function name is Anil. But what changed? The type of argument. The argument is RCOB, hence the operation is student. If the type name is brother and sister, then that is brother. If it is a mother, then he will act as a son. So this is called as a polymorphism. Let us see the types of polymorphism. Polymorphism types. There are two types. Compile time, runtime polymorphism. This is also called as static, or it is called as early binding. This is called as dynamic, or it is also called as late binding. There are two types of polymorphism. One is a compile time and one is a runtime. The compile time of polymorphism is achieved by function overloading. One more is called as overloading, and this is called overriding. Okay. Another one is operator overloading. Here this is achieved by using overriding, that is pure virtual function or a virtual function. Overriding by using abstract class or virtual or pure virtual function. Okay, so let us understand this. What is polymorphism? Already we know that. What is polymorphism? It is a Greek term which derived from the two terminology. One is many forms. A single function can take more than one form. If it comes to the classification, this is the classification of polymorphism. There are two types. One is a compile time polymorphism and second one is a runtime polymorphism. What is happening here? The overloading. The function can take more than one form at the time of compilation. That is the difference. Here the function has the ability to take more than one form at the time of compilation. How it is How it is being achieved? It is being achieved by using the function, or it is being achieved by using the operator. Then when it comes to the overriding, a function can override not during the compilation, but it is during at the time of running the code. Hence this is achieved by using abstract class or virtual function or a pure virtual function. So this thing we will go in the next class, as I am explaining here the OOPS concept. So I hope you are clear with the two types over here. Next comes with the message passing. Next concept is message passing. So you have the function, say the function is add, and here we are passing the two variables, say int a and int b. Now here simply I say return a plus b. Now this is called as a function. What this is? The function. Now these are called as a formal parameters. Now what are the actual parameters over here? So say assume that int main, int x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. Okay. So otherwise I can give you the two thing, int int x is equal to 50 and say int y is equal to 25. Now I am calling the method cout addition is equal to add, not writing here, add x comma y. Okay, x comma y, return 0. So what's happened? This is called as a actual arguments. They are called actual arguments, and this is called as a message passing. What's happening here? Passing the message. The calling method, the main is called here as a calling method, which is pass the message where the x value we stored into a, that is 50, and y value will be stored into b by passing the message, and it will return that 50 plus 25, 75 will again pass back here, and the result will be add is equal to 75. Hence these are the few concepts of object oriented programming. Yeah, so I conclude here with the OOPS concepts. Next class we will see with the thing. Thank you.